1 year ago, a windstorm, a heat wave, and a series of wildfires exploded into one of the biggest natural disasters Oregon has ever seen. Many small towns, including Gates and Marion County, are still reeling from the loss. The Beachy Creek fire destroyed half the town's homes and left countless people wondering how they recover. Tonight, many in the town came together to look back, but more than that, to look ahead and give thanks. Catherine Cook has the story from Gates.
They've spent the last year trying to get back on their feet, but on this night, it was time to sit down.
What these folks went through, they lost their entire lives.
They broke bread over broken spirits and vowed to rebuild them and their town.
It's a celebration about life and a celebration of hope, looking towards the future.
The city of Gates is their home. 1 year ago, the Beachy Creek fire burned half of it to the ground. The fire swept through the Santiam Canyon. It burned 200,000 acres, killed 5 people, and destroyed nearly 500 homes. Among them was Bruce Bailey and Kathleen Beecher's property.
When we were escaping our house was already on fire. Windows were exploding.
The couple had more than 20 beloved goats. Kathleen was badly burned trying to save them. She managed to rescue just one, Nutmeg. Their neighbors tended to the rest while Kathleen was in the hospital.
Immediately the day after the fire, they came over and buried all the remains and then planted forsythia bush on top of it. Yeah, so that we didn't have to come home to that horror.
They are the dark memories, now scattered among the ashes. But there is also beauty among them. Bruce and Kathleen organized this community dinner to celebrate that, a way to say thank you to those who helped.
Kind of the story of unsung heroes.
That includes everyone here at the Gates Community Church of Christ.
When the fire blew up, church and community members sprang into action. In this parking lot, they served 3 meals a day from September through Thanksgiving. And Bruce was here for just about all of them.
It got to the extent when one day I didn't show up here, I got a phone call and somebody was calling me from here, wanting to know where I was and whether I was okay and whether I was going to come for the evening meal. That's the level of caring that was going on.
Helpers came from all over, including Frank Botham. He's a pastor at Providence Vineyard Church in Scio.
I don't think it's like just a small town thing. I think there's a lot of great people in this world that see need and they run after it and they want to help.
I didn't lose near as much as most folks.
Pat Rom lives here in Gates. His home was spared by the slimmest of margins. He's here to honor his friend, Gates Mayor Ron Carmichael.
I'm probably going to tear up here.
Ron lost almost everything.
When he lost his place, his flag kept flying. And it's a tattered old girl. And he's going to retire it tomorrow. And tonight I'm going to present him with the replacement.
In the days after the fire, I began to see the strength of the people in the canyon. And I've left the flag flying all the way through this.
Tattered and torn, but still proud. In this community, that much is fireproof.
Thank you.
In Gates, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Now to get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, investigators are looking for witnesses of a deadly road rage shooting in Beaverton. They just put out these pictures of the 2 cars involved. It happened Friday evening on Southwest Beaverton-Hillsdale Highway at 103rd. Multiple shots were fired and 51-year-old Mark Stoudemire was killed. Deputies say the other driver stayed at the scene and is cooperating, but they're still trying to determine exactly how this played out. 2 years after a deadly fire killed a woman in North Portland, police are hoping to drum up some fresh leads. 26-year-old Sarah Oxenrider died in September of 2019 after a fire at a home on North Albina. Investigators are still trying to figure out who or what caused the fire. Crime Stoppers is offering a reward for information. You can submit anonymous tips at crimestoppersoforegon.com. And we'll have to wait a little bit longer to see if Portland will officially boycott trade, government services, and travel to Texas following their recent abortion law. City commissioners were expected to vote on an emergency resolution this week, but we've just learned the vote has been postponed to September 13th. The city council says it needs to better understand the impact of the resolution.
Thanks to Oregonians doing your part, modeling is showing that we are successfully slowing the spread of the Delta variant.
Governor Kate Brown today thanked Oregonians for wearing masks and getting vaccinated to help slow the spread of coronavirus. COVID-19 modeling is now showing improvement, but the governor is still concerned. Pat Doris reports.
The Pendleton Roundup, held September 11th through the 18th, is a huge deal for Eastern Oregon. As many as 50,000 people attend. Governor Kate Brown is usually one of those people, but with the Delta variant still raging in Oregon, the governor will stay home this year.
Unfortunately, Pat, you know I adore attending the Pendleton Roundup, and unfortunately, I will not be going this year. For those who are attending, I encourage them to get vaccinated ahead of time and to wear their masks.
When I asked why she was not going, Governor Brown was clear.
I am certainly concerned about community spread.
Hospitals around Oregon are still overwhelmed by the number of very sick COVID patients, most not vaccinated. The state epidemiologist, Dr. Dean Seidlinger, said the number of new cases for the most recent week available totals more than 16,000, which is 13 times higher than the total for the week ending the 4th of July, which was just over 2 months ago. But there is good news. Researchers believe the virus is spreading a bit slower than before. Dr. Seidlinger said mask wearing and vaccinations help a lot.
The decisions we make over the next few weeks will determine whether we plunge deeper into the crisis of care or we reverse this rising tsunami.
The number of cases is likely to stay high for most of September.
So I'd anticipate, if our current trend and the modeling holds, that we will see those decreases by October. But we can't rest on our laurels. This is not an on-off switch. It's a dimmer switch.
With hundreds of thousands of Oregon school kids returning to classrooms, the Department of Education put out 5 advisories for schools and families. They include all eligible youth and adults who come in contact with school-aged children should get vaccinated. Families with school-aged children and teachers should limit gatherings and activities with people outside their household. Schools should reduce extracurricular activities and hold meals, recess, PE, and other classes outside if possible. Schools should also hold beginning of the year activities like Meet the Teacher Night online, not in person. Finally, families should check their school's website to read the plan for safely returning to classrooms. School leaders say there have been lots of safety precautions taken and there's lots of testing available to make sure the return to in-person class is safe this fall. We'll be watching closely over the next couple of weeks to see how that actually works out. In Northeast Portland, Pat Doris, KGW News.
The COVID picture is not so good for our neighbors to the east. In North Idaho, crisis standards of care are now in effect because of a surge in COVID patients and a severe shortage of hospital staff and beds. It basically means they've had to start rationing health care. In the most severe examples, care may be prioritized for patients most likely to survive. That means a COVID patient who needs a ventilator may not be able to get one, or someone badly hurt in a car crash may not get a hospital bed, and someone who is near death may only receive comfort care as hospital staff focus on other patients with better odds. North Idaho has some of the state's lowest vaccination rates. State officials say 95% of their COVID patients are unvaccinated, and more younger patients are ending up in the hospital.
I think that the thing that's really changed for us has been seeing that younger patients are dying from this. And it's quite disturbing to see these patients declining, and they're what I would consider healthy. They're normal, everyday North Idaho people.
The crisis standards are only in effect in North Idaho right now, but doctors warn they could become statewide if current infection rates continue. And what's happening in North Idaho is all the more reason to get vaccinated. 2 friends from the Seattle area know the importance of vaccinations, and they've come up with their own way to create more awareness. Mike Benner has their story.
Imagine if a blue silicone bracelet at just $2.50 a pop was the key to herd immunity against COVID. It sounds far-fetched, at least to everyone except Greg Axelrod of Seattle.
We wanted to keep it, as affordable as possible because our goal was not to get rich. Our goal was to get as many bracelets onto wrists as possible.
The former Microsoft and Amazon employee teamed up with a buddy to slow the spread of the coronavirus. This vaccine bracelet may just do that.
What we're really trying to do is get the 50-60% of people who are pro-vaccine, have done their part, and rather than having it invisible inside their arm, wear it on the outside of their arm, show it to the people around them, and hopefully encourage those around them to join the cause.
Axelrod says the vaccine bracelet is not a vaccine passport or even a proof of vaccination. Instead, it's a tool to promote vaccine awareness, sort of like the Livestrong bracelet was for cancer. In less than a year, Axelrod says, they've sold more than 300,000 of these bracelets. And the city with the second most sales right behind Seattle, you guessed it, Portland.
Portland has been great. They're our neighbor to the south. Portland has been ordering a lot of them, as have a lot of other cities.
In Oregon, no less, we found a woman from the southern part of the state who's sporting the vaccine bracelet. She tweeted, "I ordered some to help spread the word. If you have gotten your shots, get one for yourself."
People in the Northwest generally support each other, want to do their part, and they tend to trust science.
Greg Axelrod sure does, and he's hoping this blue silicone bracelet encourages others to do the same.
With the Delta variant, it's clear that vaccination is our only way out of this, and the bar has risen. We need to get more people vaccinated than we even thought before.
Again, each bracelet runs less than $3, with 50% of the proceeds going towards the World Health Organization's COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund. You can find more information on our website, kgw.com. I'm Mike Benner. Now back to you.